Todd, other than avoiding injuries, what's the best thing to come out of tonight?
I like the way Bays handled the 2 minute at the end. We had some good returns on kickoff returns, so that was positive.
What do you say about the night that Tez Johnson had and the yards after catch he was able to get?
He really grew from last week to this week, understanding the little things. He made some plays. He played fast. He played like he knew what he was doing.
How did you score the backflip?
I actually didn't even see it. I was too busy doing other things, but I'll look at it on tape.
What'd you say to Shiloh Sanders after that ejection?
Well, you can't throw punches in this league. I mean, that's inexcusable. They're gonna get you every time. Got to grow from that.
And then what did you say to the officials after that? It looked like you were possibly trying to argue with
We're
them.
talking about another play.
Connor Bazelak isn't a quarterback that's really been talked about much, but even if the team were to keep like 3 quarterbacks and have Teddy on the practice squad, is he in consideration? Maybe make it 2?
Something to be talked about. I mean, he did a heck of a job in the second half. He did a good job last week. So he's growing without a lot of reps. He's grown. He's shown that he can grow, and all that stuff was positive. But we got to weigh it against everything else.
Can you talk about the development of Elijah Roberts, the progression he's made as a pass rusher in each of these games?
He came in as a pass rusher. We got to develop him as a run stopper. Doing certain things. He hadn't been down there inside for a long time. He's a little bit like Logan Hall coming in, more athletic than he was a run stopper, but he's gotten better every week, and he's putting it together, and he's starting to play with a lot of confidence and looking like the guy we drafted.
What are your thoughts about the return game with Josh Williams and Cameron Johnson ripping off some big runs?
Like I said, that was one of the better things that we did tonight from a return standpoint. Getting the ball out to the 50 almost every time was important for us.
Todd, you guys obviously were hurting for DBs. Brought in Trey Avery yesterday. You had 6 tackles in the second half. Had you even really had any interaction with him before the game?
No, other than hi, the DB coach. The DB coaches saw him last night, and credit to the kid. He went in there, and you can't do a lot when you get guys. You got him last night. You got Brooks last week or so. You couldn't do much in there, but they fought, and they played hard.
Coach, in the first quarter you had on the 39-yard line, and you just chose to punt. Was the field goal an option then at all?
No, they thought it was too far with the wind going that way.
What was the reason why Teddy Bridgewater wasn't able to play tonight?
He's extremely ill.
If he had been healthy, would he have played tonight?
Yes.
Does that hurt your evaluation at all, him?
No, it doesn't.
What can you say about the night that Rashad Wisdom had?
He played hard. He played hard. Playing nickel just after being there for a week is hard to do. We were down to no nickels playing other than him, and he just got experience last week, and down to a few safeties as well. So he played hard. He played both spots for us, and he's a warrior.
I know you want to look at tape, but in terms of just people that helped themselves the most tonight, are there names you think of?
Well, Tez definitely helped himself. 37 definitely helped himself, and then we'll see a tape about everybody else.
When you're evaluating, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you're evaluating defensive players and the field conditions aren't ideal, I don't know how much that factored into some missed tackles, slippery. How do you kind of weigh that?
I've never evaluated a player and worried about field conditions.
Todd, you mentioned 37 and Josh Williams. With the injuries you have, obviously depth is kind of a luxury. But could you carry 4 backs on 53?
All depends on the other positions, whether it's the last wideout, the last safety, the last defensive lineman, the last offensive lineman. There's a lot of things that we got to sort out that way before we make that decision.
Just how difficult are these next few days with so many positions where you got a lot of roster competition? It seems like it's tougher than the last few seasons for you, and I know you've been in this position before.
When you become a good team, the cuts get harder. When you don't have anything, you can keep everybody, but the cuts become harder. It's always difficult because, you don't want to be a guy to tell you that you can't play pro ball anymore. It doesn't mean it's the end of the road. It's the end of the road here, and that's always tough when you have to tell someone that. And I think any coach will tell you that same thing. So it's always going to be difficult decisions, but we understand that going in from a coaches and player standpoint, and we make decisions we think will make us better, and you kind of move on from there.
Todd, did Kyle Trask solidify the backup position the way he played tonight, or has that still not been decided between Kyle and Teddy Bridgewater?
Nothing out there has been decided right now. We'll talk about everything as a group when we talk about it, and we'll get that down tomorrow and go from there.
Would you have had Teddy start tonight if he was available?
No, Kyle's going to start.
Todd, it's been a decade since you guys had to play a preseason game against a team you faced the same season. Was that difficult or awkward? Did you do anything differently tonight because you're going to see them this year?
Not really. I mean, they didn't play their guys. We didn't play our guys. So it'll be like the first time when we play them. You can watch the film for everything else. I think we played them maybe 2 years ago up that way, but it didn't really change anything.
I think you've got like a week to make roster cuts, so, but I would assume you're going to start the process sooner than that.
We'll get going tomorrow. We'll see. Some easy ones. Some will go into Monday, but we'll look at everything tomorrow and start it sometime late morning, early afternoon, and we'll get going from there and see what we got.
You guys have a practice Tuesday morning. Would you expect to be done with the cuts before that, or could you still wait?
Still hard to tell. You know, you still got the waiver wire you got to look at and weigh the pluses against the minuses about keeping your own guys and what we need and who we like. So that'll be a tough decision right there to say we will or we won't.
Coach, in the second quarter, Trask had a few passes to Teddy's. Could you talk about sort of maybe the growing sort of familiarity that they have together?
More boots, and Tez was kind of catching and running, and we kind of got him moving with his speed and athleticism and got the ball in his hands, sort of like a returner, which was great because he can get away from people and get down. He's very elusive right that way, and Kyle found a way to get him the ball. Grizz did a great job of scheming up how we can get him the football, and, you know, they connected.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.